Silence, a virtue often underestimated, was one of Marcus Aurelius' greatest tools. The ancient Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher knew that wisdom isn't always found in words, but in the restraint of speech. Today, we'll explore 9 situations where Marcus Aurelius teaches us that silence is not just golden, it's essential. When anger boils over, words become weapons. Marcus Aurelius believed that in moments of intense anger, silence is your greatest ally. Anger is a natural human emotion, but when it controls us, we lose our ability to think and act rationally. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius reflects on how anger clouds our judgment and leads us to say things we later regret. He reminds us that words spoken in anger are often irrational, hurtful, and difficult to take back. In the heat of the moment, silence is a way to regain control over your emotions. It creates a pause, a critical space where you can breathe, reflect, and allow the initial surge of anger to pass. This silence is not about suppressing emotions, but about preventing them from driving your actions. By staying silent, you protect yourself and others from the destructive potential of anger, ensuring that when you do speak, your words are measured and purposeful. Not every argument deserves your voice. When ignorance speaks, silence can be the most powerful rebuttal. Marcus Aurelius understood that engaging with ignorance often only spreads it further. In an era where misinformation and baseless opinions can dominate public discourse, this advice is more relevant than ever. Consider the modern equivalent, social media, where arguments often erupt over trivial or misinformed opinions. Engaging in such debates can be draining and rarely leads to a constructive outcome. By choosing silence, you refuse to validate the ignorance with your attention or energy. Silence in these situations is a statement in itself, signaling that not all noise deserves a response. It's a reminder that your time and peace of mind are too valuable to be wasted on fruitless arguments. When others indulge in gossip and slander, Marcus Aurelius reminds us that silence is a mark of integrity. Gossip is a social toxin, one that erodes trust and dignity. Marcus Aurelius was acutely aware of this, warning against the temptation to engage in discussions that focus on the flaws and failings of others. When you remain silent in the face of gossip, you protect your own character. This silence is not just about avoiding negative talk. It's an active choice to preserve your integrity and not contribute to the harm that gossip causes. It also sends a message to others, one of respect and personal discipline. In a world where it's easy to fall into the trap of discussing others behind their backs, choosing silence sets you apart as someone who values honor over fleeting social engagement. Temptation comes in many forms: gluttony, greed, excess. Marcus Aurelius knew that silence in the face of temptation is a form of strength. Temptation often speaks to our most basic desires, encouraging us to indulge in excess or pursue fleeting pleasures. Marcus Aurelius advocated for a life of moderation and self-control, understanding that true contentment comes from within, not from external indulgences. In the moment of temptation, silence can be a form of resistance. Instead of voicing your desires or giving in to the urge to indulge, silence helps you focus on what truly matters. It's a pause that allows you to consider the long-term consequences of your actions. By choosing silence, you exercise self-discipline, a key virtue in Stoic philosophy. This silence is a powerful tool for maintaining your moral compass, ensuring that your actions align with your higher principles rather than momentary desires. Pride can make us speak when we should remain silent. Marcus Aurelius advised that admitting ignorance is far better than speaking in error. In a world that often equates knowledge with power, it can be tempting to offer an answer even when we're uncertain. However, Marcus Aurelius taught that true wisdom lies in recognizing the limits of your knowledge. Admitting that you don't know something requires humility, but it's a sign of intellectual integrity. It's better to remain silent and seek knowledge than to speak out of pride and risk spreading misinformation. This kind of silence is an acknowledgement that learning is a lifelong process, and that there's no shame in not having all the answers. It also fosters an environment of honesty and trust, where people can feel safe admitting their own uncertainties and seeking the truth together. Praise can be as dangerous as criticism. Marcus Aurelius understood that false praise feeds vanity, not virtue. Flattery is a subtle trap. While it may feel good in the moment, it can lead you away from your true self and your principles. Marcus Aurelius was acutely aware of the dangers of vanity, especially for those in positions of power. When you remain silent in the face of false praise, you protect yourself from the corrosive effects of pride. This silence is not about rejecting compliments, but about maintaining a clear perspective on your own worth and abilities. It helps you stay grounded, reminding you that true excellence is measured by your actions and character, not by the opinions of others. By staying silent, you ensure that your focus remains on continuous improvement, rather than being distracted by the allure of empty praise. Petty arguments drain your energy and distract from meaningful pursuits. Marcus Aurelius advised silence as a shield against such trivialities. Life is full of opportunities to engage in conflict, but not all of them are worth your time. Marcus Aurelius recognized that many arguments are born out of ego, pride, or misunderstanding, and engaging in them only serves to drain your energy and distract from more meaningful pursuits. Silence in the face of petty arguments is an act of wisdom. It shows that you understand the value of your time and energy, and that you refuse to waste them on matters of little consequence. This kind of silence is also a form of self-respect, as it keeps you focused on your goals and priorities rather than being pulled into unnecessary conflicts. By choosing silence, you rise above the fray, maintaining your composure and ensuring that your actions are guided by reason, not impulse. Criticism can sting, especially when it's unwarranted. Marcus Aurelius believed that silence in the face of baseless criticism is a sign of inner strength. Criticism is an inevitable part of life, and while constructive feedback can help you grow, baseless criticism often does more harm than good. Marcus Aurelius advised that silence is the best response to unjust or unfounded criticism. By remaining silent, you show that you are not swayed by the opinions of others, especially when those opinions are not grounded in truth or fairness. This silence reflects inner strength and confidence in your own judgment. It allows you to continue your work without being distracted by negativity. Moreover, it protects your peace of mind, as engaging with unfounded criticism often leads to frustration and self-doubt. By choosing silence, you affirm that your worth and your work are not defined by the opinions of others, but by your own standards of excellence. Not every situation calls for your voice. Marcus Aurelius advised that in the company of fools, silence is the wisest response. There are times when speaking up is futile, especially when you're surrounded by those who are not open to reason or wisdom. Marcus Aurelius understood that engaging with fools often only drags you down to their level. In such situations, silence is a form of self-preservation. It's an acknowledgement that not every situation deserves your input, and that sometimes, the wisest course of action is to remove yourself from the conversation entirely. This silence is not a sign of defeat but of strength, as it shows that you have the discernment to recognize when your words would fall on deaf ears. By choosing silence, you protect your energy and maintain your focus on what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in the noise and chaos of foolishness. Silence, when practiced with wisdom, becomes a powerful tool in the Stoics' arsenal. As Marcus Aurelius showed us, knowing when to speak and when to remain silent can define the quality of our lives. Let silence be your guide in these 9 situations, and watch how it transforms your life, just as it did for the great Stoics of old. Embrace the power of silence and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom.